Hi, and welcome to another episode of Data in Motion. I'm tim-spann, one of the field engineers here at Cloudera. We're taking a look at how do you acquire data from devices such as NVidia Jetson Nano, process that, and run AI at all different levels within the system. So first up, everything starts off with a heartbeat. We have our nifi Java agent installed on the Nano. We could take a quick look at that device. We could see how it's connected through a configuration file. We have it loaded locally on the NVidia Jetson, which is a Ubuntu machine. And we could see here now that it's started, we start getting back heartbeats. And you can see it's a very simple JSON message that comes back at a configurable amount of time. This lets us know that it's out there and then what's going on with it. And then once we get a heartbeat back, we'll see it in our Cloudera Edge Manager, and we can write a flow. We have one already, and we could take a look at this one real quick. We could see what we're doing here is we're running a script here. This script is a Python application that's using the native GPU on the Jetson, along with a webcamera to capture images, also grab some sensor data, which we have stored in a log file here that we tail as new lines come in. We're also grabbing all those webcamera images from a directory. You see, it's very easy for us to publish this. I didn't make much changes, just move things around. But we could change timings, we could add additional processors, figuring out what we want to do. You know, do we need to add some cryptographic hash attributes there? Do we need to encrypt this content? Do we need to call some other services? You know, whether it's JSON, REST, and a bunch of different things, and you could add more as need be, as these are just for the Java one, it's the standard NARs that we get in the regular NiFi distribution. We look here, we've sent a bunch of data out, and we can see that it's already been received, and we already got our new heartbeats. That's great to see. If we want to filter this, we could filter it by certain classes, and here I'm just going to search for the Jetson Nano and not be concerned with our other ones we have out there. We see here it's already getting back all the heartbeats. We have these pretty high. We can make this lower depending on what we want to do. So now that we have it out there, we could check our NiFi server. As we could see here, it's starting to receive data and it's starting to process it. So if we look here we have a NiFi flow to receive this data. It's coming in. We've had some come in pretty recently. Look here, we'll check this queue, see what's one of the recent messages. You can see how long they've been sitting around, how long it's been sitting in the queue, and then we could take a look at one of them. What came in, here we're doing a character count. You can see what this data is. This is some logging information that I'm capturing. If you look here, we're doing some routing based on the type of data. If it's an image, I'm doing a couple different things. I'm sending it to the rest of my processing, which I'll show you in a minute. We also send it to 2 local NiFi processors that I've written. One does TensorFlow, and you can see here it changes, doesn't change the content, but it adds additional analysis here. And if you see these labels, these are labels generated by TensorFlow based on what it thinks the image is. Here's the probability. 10% thinks it's a projector. You know, this is a picture of a monitor in my office. And if we take a look, we can see that image. It's kind of at an angle. You know, there's some different guesses, but there you go. And that was the guess on TensorFlow in NiFi. If we look over here, this is the MXNet processor. This one has also run recently. If we stop here, everything will queue up. So we could take a look and see what happens next. As you saw there, I said store an image. So I'm going to store an image. So what happens here is I'm sending those images with my custom processor to Imager, and this is going to upload that image, keep a copy of it, clean up the results, tell you what happened, and now we have that hosted in the public web. So if we want to be able to use it by any public web service, we could do that. So what I'm doing next is taking that information, and I'm going to be calling our CDSW to do some additional data science processing, set up a couple parameters. We have to call a specific URL, and this is the results I get back. It tells me what happened here, and from those results I'm going to go to the next part, and when this is done processing, I'm going to call a Spark job. Here I'm formatting how I'm sending that Spark job. If you look in here, I have to send, I'm sending these data values as environment variables to that job. Once that's completed, it's actually going to call our job, which again is in CDSW, and when it's done, it's going to save the results as a Parquet file. Pretty simple stuff. So this is CDSW. If we go over here, we can see the model that I have deployed. Here's how I call it, very simple. What's nice is this is the results. Nicely formatted JSON that tells me what it thought the image was, along with some information on, the environment that it was running in, which is a Docker container. If we look at our monitoring, we could see that it's been run today 42 times, all of them successful. That's very nice. Returned the results back, and we kept our flow going. We also called a job. If we see here, we've called this job a number of times today. What's cool with this tool is this one is just running, but let's look at the one that just ran before it. It'll show me everything that happened in that running Python session, and you can see here I grabbed those environment variables, formatted them as JSON. As you can see here, then I stored them in Parquet, so now we have data available for us stored in Parquet. Very nice way to do that. So now that we have the data stored, we can write analysis on it, we can write queries, use Zeppelin, Huey, whatever we're going to use. Also, if you noticed in there, when a job completes, it sends me an email, and I get some of the results there. That's very helpful to know. As part of the processing, I'm sending messages to Slack, which is very easy for me to do. And you can see here is my TensorFlow analysis results and what device it came from. So we started off on a little device, not much you can do. Using SEM, we put this flow out there to run all this that we need. NiFi got the data, did all kinds of processing to it, integrated with CDSW, and then from there we have everything we need to be able to run our system. And again, we got a new one in. We got information. Temperature on our device is getting a little hot. I should probably add another fan to that. So until tomorrow, thank you.